to East Clare now, because Nathalie El-Baba, she's an artist based out in Scariff, and her exhibition that's running at the moment, Collective Belonging, is a reflection on immigration and the community. It opened last week and it's running for the next couple of weeks. It's free entry, so if you want to go along and see, but the work is reflecting on how people migrate into and then inform the locality that they've settled into about, you know, the identity of the wider community, and it's like reverse immigration, if you will. Our own Denise Woods was out in Scariff and she visited the artist in her studio to speak about the work, which of course is featured within the exhibition.
My name's Nathalie El-Baba and I'm living in Caparose, Scariff, County Clare, for the last 18 years now. I'm working as an artist and I also work as an art tutor for the VC and for the Family Resource Centre in Shannon. I was always interested in art, and so when I left school I got a job in an art gallery for a couple of years, and then when I came over to Ireland when I was 18, I just started making things to sell, and that's what I like to do. But then as the years have gone on, I took some proper training. I did the VTOS to begin with once the kids were old enough to be going to school, and then I did the part-time course up in GMIT to do my degree in art and design. So I've just completed another certificate in youth arts as well. I do a lot with teenagers.
And what brought you to East Clare?
I'd been living in Kerry and travelling up to Galway Market every week, which was a crazy journey, and decided to actually look for somewhere closer to Galway to live, and looked and everything wasn't happening. And then the last place we said, right, we'll come over and have a look, and I saw a house and I said that's the one. So that's how we came to be here. Yeah.
Can't afford to run, we'll run, but what about those who can't? They will have to stay.
So the exhibition is called Collective Belonging, and it's a selection of portraits, all painted especially for the exhibition. They're all of women who are living in the East Clare area, and they're women who'd be very recognisable, that you would see about the town around Scariff or the surrounding areas. The exhibition is kind of really, it's looking at the story. I suppose portraits would be looking at the stories behind people. That's what I'd be interested in, and really because migration is such a hot topic at the moment anyway in Ireland, I'm kind of looking at people's stories, why they came to be in the area. So some of the people would be people that may be very much considered local, but when you see maybe they didn't, they weren't from Clare or they weren't from this area, they would have moved in years ago, and other people might come on to think of what people would consider to be people who have definitely moved in, but really everyone's got their own story behind it, and each person I chose is somebody who's, I would see as being very much either an active member of the community or a very recognisable member of the community. There's one lady who's from France, who moved here a long, long time ago, and there's another lady who's from Czech. There's 3 women who are from England, and all the rest are from Ireland. Most of them are done in oil, so there'd be oil on canvas. There is a charcoal drawing in the selection as well. There'd be oil on canvas and charcoal, yeah.
And immigration at the moment is something that's very close to your heart?
Yeah, my eldest son is immigrating tomorrow, on Thursday. So he finished his degree and he's looked around for work, and he's decided to head off to maybe see the world a bit and get some experience and actually get a job somewhere. So yeah, this wasn't really why I chose the exhibition at the time, because he was still doing his degree, but it just is how it happened, and it's just how it happened that he actually is emigrating tomorrow. Yeah, so there you are.
I was about to ask you, is it a coincidence that they come?
Total coincidence. He dropped the bombshell about a month ago to say, I'm going on the 28th, and I said that's when my exhibition's opening, so I put it off 2 days because I didn't want to start crying. I thought I'd be a bit emotional, but yeah. So there you go. That kind of fits in, doesn't it? That's the story of it. Yeah.
And by talking to people, how do you think they've integrated into the community?
I would say that East Clare has a wonderfully integrated community. I really think it does. And when I moved into East Clare, people stopped to welcome me to my new home, and it was lovely. And when I do a lot of work in the community, and what I see is that's across the board. It's a really integrated place. And I suppose that's why I wanted to do this as well. I was really wanting to celebrate the community we live in. And and just like there are certain people, like I say, in the collection, who are people who really would be big players as part of being very community active, who didn't start off here but have made this place their home.
Do you want to tell me just a little bit about a couple of the paintings that you have here in your studio?
So that's a charcoal drawing of Nicola Henley. Nicola's living just outside of Scariff, just outside Toomgraney. So I went to her home, and that sketch was done while she was busy sewing away. She was too busy to stop, so I just sketched her while she was getting on with some of her work there.
How do you approach your subjects?
I just went and asked them. Some people said yes, and then I think they nearly regretted saying yes off the book. And other people would just said, no, I don't mind, that's fine. And I went, it was lovely. I went to everybody's home and sat and had a cup of tea with them and got to just get to know them a little more. It was very important for me doing the portrait that I got a sense of them, other than just who I meet on the street, kind of,
Sketch them there and then?
Yeah, I sketched them. A couple of people, we got busy talking so much we didn't get the sketch done, but I sketched everyone pretty much, most of the people, and then I took some photographs as well, because I knew time was of the essence, and I wouldn't have time to be going every week to be painting them. So, but I tried in all of the portraits to put how I felt the person, to try and capture something about their personality or how I saw them, to try and put that in. So you'd see they've all got very different styles, all the different paintings. So
I just want to ask you about the very big painting there hanging on the wall.
Yeah, that's one. That's a Fliss. Anyone who lives around Scariff would know Fliss has been living around here for a long time. And I suppose she was the first person, when I was thinking about the exhibition, she was the first person that I thought, God, I was interested in the story behind Fliss. She's been living in this community for absolutely years, and she's a real character. Everyone would know her about the place, So I went to her house actually a few times, did a few sketches, and then went from there. I was trying to capture that kind of fluid sense that you see. You'd often see Fliss, and she'd be chatting, and her arms would be waving, and she's got a nice kind of approach to it all, and I just was trying to capture that about her.
What inspires you? What drives you?
People. I'm very interested in people. I'm very interested in communicating and connecting to people. I think for me, I would find that my skill, I have skills in drawing or whatever. For me, I like to use that to try and make connections with people. And my own background is I was born in Beirut, and we left temporarily when the Civil War broke out, and we moved to England. My mother is English, and then we ended up staying because things didn't improve. So I suppose, because of my experiences as a child, I think it's very important for me that people try to build connections rather than break them down. That's just my own experience of, I suppose, the war and everything. It would leave you with a feeling that it's important to try and build connections with people. And then I came to Ireland when I was 18. Yeah, that's what drives me, is to feel part of it all, and to share what I have, and if I can share the things that I can do with other people, that I can be part of a positive community, I suppose.
So your exhibition opens on Saturday?
Yep, it's opening on the 30th, and then it's going to run then until the 21st of December.
The full I've never.
And my thanks to Clare FM's Denise Woods for heading out and meeting Nathalie Elbab out in Scariff. And the exhibition Collective Belonging is running up until December 21st. It sounds like a really interesting one for anyone in East Clare, but indeed anyone in the county who's interested in the notion of migration, and a very, very interesting undertaking that Nathalie has done as well. And getting to know her community in depth and being able to paint them along with the other artists that are featured.